Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. That's Emery Huntazaro, the playbook, and I'm Tyler Merkovich. Jacksonville visits New England in Week 16, and New England seems to play well against lesser opponents. They're playing a pretty good quarterback in David Garrard, but he is somewhat inconsistent. So can that defense get to Jacksonville, who has a big offensive line, and stop, and in the process, keep MJD in mind? What are your keys to victory for the Jags?
Neutralizing the pressure is number one. So the way they do that is by running the football downhill against this New England front. They do have a big offensive line with Jones Drew back there in the backfield. So you want to load up double tight situations and let those big guards tee off on this front three of the New England Patriots. So they want to run downhill at the Patriots, number one. Two, Garrard has to be more consistent. The last pass he threw against the Colts was high and over the guy's head, the receiver's head. So he has to be more consistent, complete his pass. He played well.
He was overshooting everybody on
that last drive. It was just, you kind of were waiting for the ball to get intercepted. So he has to continue to play consistent football throughout the game, because you know the running game is going to be there. You know Maurice Jones-Drew is going to show up in the receiving aspect of the game. You know those receivers are going to show up. The defense has to also match the intensity of the offense and play like they did last week against the Colts.
Garrard's a great talent. He just needs to eliminate those 5 to 6 throws,
right?
Those bad ones a game, and really need to convert them into either incompletions that are not interceptions or big completions on third down to move the chains. For the Pats, Randy Moss gets back involved. That passing game looked better than it has in the previous couple weeks. Now, what are your keys to victory for the Pats? We're at 9-5 here, and you know they want to move up in the standings to meet the Colts in the second round.
Well, they have to get pressure on Garrard, because when you put pressure in Garrard's face, he's going to stand there in the pocket. So they're going to have opportunities to get sacks. So they have to make sure they wrap up on defense. That means wrapping up on Garrard. He's a big guy. Wrapping up on Jones-Drew and bringing him to the ground. Wrapping up on Sims Walker. So defense has to wrap up this week. It's a lot of slippery guys out there in Jacksonville. So they really have to show up this week and stop everyone in their tracks, number one. Two, offensively, they want to get the ball to Randy Moss early enough, and he's going to stretch that defense out vertically, especially Cox, the rookie. I think Cox is going to be matched up with Welker in company, so you want to get the ball to whoever's Cox covering, but you want to get Moss involved early to get him focused into the game, playing early and often. I like Jacksonville coming into New England and beating the Patriots. The Jacksonville Jaguars showed me something last week against the Colts. They're able to play up to the competition, just like they played the Colts tough week one. It's all about matchups, and it's all about intensity. The Patriots are going to bring it. Jacksonville's going to match. I think they walk away.
I think it's going to be a good game, but Tom Brady, you throw it 40 times, expose Derek Cox, Reggie Nelson back there. Their secondary really is going to have a lot of problems against Wes Welker and Randy Moss. And Tom Brady's coming on. He can't play as bad as he did those last couple games. He's just going to get better and better. I think the Pats pull this one out.
One thing that Jacksonville was able to do against Indianapolis, which should be another key to victory, is maximize their possessions. 8 minutes on the first drive to take up time off the clock. You want to limit the Patriots' possessions. That's how you slow down Tom Brady, so he won't have 40 opportunities to throw the football.
Well, they're fighting for that third spot, Cincinnati and New England, and they're both tied, so Cincinnati's probably going to win against Kansas City. They're going to see that, and New England's going to know they need to win this game, and they have a shot to finally get over the hump and really clinch it over the Jets and Dolphins, who have snuck around right behind them despite the inconsistent seasons those two teams have had. For more, visit footballgameplan.com/NFL.